Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video where we're going to get to know lots of animals from the savannah around here. On this cover, we have a photograph of a baboon in the wild, which is a type of monkey. Also, we're going to use the Great Animal Encyclopedia, which you already know I love, because inside we have a lot of interesting information. For example, here it talks about the Arctic fox and the reindeer. Let's open our box, because inside it's full of different figures. Let's see. We've dropped a vulture. Look, let's learn the name and characteristics of each one of them, and let's see which one comes out first. Earlier, the vulture came out of the box, so it seems like it's really eager to come out. The vulture is an impressive bird. It has gigantic wings and a wingspan of more than 3 meters. So just imagine this giant of the skies soaring over the blue sky. Its body, as you can see, is very robust, and it also has a lot of feathers. However, it lacks feathers on its head. In addition, it has a strong beak, and we can see its powerful claws, which it uses to hunt. Look at these huge claws. It is also a scavenger, which means it also feeds on dead animals. It finds that have been hunted by other animals. I love the little figure because, as you can see, it's one of the soft ones. Look, the inside is full of cork balls and we can also stretch it. Plus, it's slightly sticky. As you can see, its feathers are sticking. Well, now we know a bit more about the vulture. We'll leave it here so we can get to know another different animal. And coming out of our box is a big hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses, although they usually seem very calm, can actually be very dangerous because they have a lot of strength in their jaws. Here comes the figure with its mouth open. This way we can see all its teeth, which, as you can see, are quite big and very long and thick. The little figure is also super cool because it comes with cork balls inside, which makes it very relaxing. The hippopotamus can live underwater and also on land. Let's see more information in the encyclopedia. And what a coincidence, friends, because while looking for the hippopotamus, I found that we also have information about the vulture on this page, so we can see what it looks like in real life. I like this encyclopedia because all the photographs that appear are of animals in the wild, which is how all animals should be. Regarding the hippopotamus, here we can see it in the water. It says that it can reach about 4 tons in weight and about 4 meters in length. It is a mammal and usually lives in groups of between 20 and 100 individuals. But let's also bring up the picture of the vulture because I find it impressive. Look at this beak, and, as I was saying, the top of its head has no feathers, while the feathers on its wings are quite long. Tell me, did you like this video? And if you did, let's continue with a different animal. Ouch. Ooh. Ouch. To a gray wolf. The figure is also one of the soft ones, and because of its posture, it looks like it's running. As you can see, it has quite a thick fur, especially around its head. With its mouth open, we can see its fangs. It has a very well-developed sense of hearing, and we can also notice its long tail. In some mountainous areas, wolves are endangered, so we need to take care of this species. Here's another one. Let's continue with a different one. We have a large animal, an animal that lives in the savannah. As you can see, it is characterized by having a very large and robust body, but above all, by the horns it has on the top of its head, or rather, on its snout. It's the great rhinoceros. This figure is different from the previous ones, since the inside is filled with orbes and not cork balls. That makes it very soft, and here we have more information about the rhinoceros, along with several photographs. I really like this photograph, because we can see a mother with her calf. Look at how tiny that rhinoceros is. An interesting detail I'm going to show you is the difference between the horns. As you can see in these photographs, we have rhinoceroses with 2 horns on the top, one longer and another smaller one in the back. I'm sure you've seen other rhinoceroses with only 1 horn, and that's because they are 2 different species. The Asian rhinoceros, which lives in the Asian region, has only 1 horn, while the African rhinoceros has 2 horns. So the one we see in these photographs is the rhinoceros, the African rhinoceros, because it has 2 horns. It tells us that it can weigh about 3 tons, but despite that, it is able to run at high speed and is quite an agile animal. In addition, it can reach about 3 meters in length. Very interesting.
The time has come to meet the king and queen of the savannah.
We have these feline specimens, the lion and the lioness, the male and the female. As you can see, these figures are also soft, although the lion is much more stuffed inside since it has Orbeez beads. As you can see, we notice some differences between the male and the female. Let's look at the lion first. The lion is much bigger than the female and is characterized by having a lot of fur around its head. Also, the fur on its head is a darker color than the rest of its body. We can see its open jaw, showing all its fangs. On the other hand, we have the lioness. The lioness has a slimmer and finer body. However, this allows her to run at higher speeds and be much more agile. That's why lionesses are the ones in charge of hunting. They live in groups or prides, with 1 male lion and many females who are responsible for taking care of the cubs. Here we can see her in a crouched position, as she usually crouches down very stealthily, and when she sees prey, she starts running at high speed to catch it, and thus feed the whole pride, including her cubs. I love these felines. We'll leave them here and continue with a different one. We have a type of snake. Look, we can stretch it a lot and that allows us to throw it, which is a lot of fun. As you can see, it comes to us. With its mouth open, we can see its fangs and its tongue, which, as you know, is characterized by being split in 2 at the tip. This is a cobra. We know it by the shape of its head, and we can also see its scaly skin. This snake is quite dangerous, so I wouldn't like to run into it. What if, let me. We continue discovering animals of the savannah. This time we will get to know the great bison, a large and impressive animal. In this figure, it really reminds me of a bull, especially because of the shape of its face and its horns. But this is a bison. As you will see, one of the differences with the bull is its fur, since the bison has much longer hair. It also has a tail, and let's look for more information in the book. And also, as you can see, this figure hardly has any filling. It's rather hollow and has a lot of air inside. Let's look for more information. Look at these pages. We have the hair and the bison. I want to bring it closer so you can see. Its fur is very thick, and its whole body is covered with hair, especially its head. Here we can see a bit of its body. The bison, as you can see, lives in groups or herds. This way, they can protect themselves in case a predator comes. And we only have a few animals left to meet. But as you can see, an impressive reptile is coming out of this box. This is a caiman with its 4 legs, its long tail, and this big jaw. It's a very imposing predator, the caiman. In each clutch, it can lay about 50 eggs in total. Also, caimans can live for about 50 years. Impressive, isn't it? And they can even reach about 6 meters in length. Of course, that's in those adult male specimens. As you can see, it's also super soft. It has air inside, and we can stretch it. It's impossible to escape from this jaw. As you can see, it's capable of both swimming and walking on its 4 legs. It loves to submerge itself in the water, leaving its whole body underwater and only exposing its eyes and the top part of its mouth. In this way, it stays crouched and hidden, waiting for prey, but it is also able to come out onto land. We'll leave it here for now and let's go now. Yes. With the second to last animal, it's another type of snake. Earlier, we saw the cobra. There are some snakes that are constrictors, meaning they kill their prey by strangling them. However, there are other snakes that are very venomous, and what they do is immobilize their prey by injecting venom. Here we have a very colorful type of snake. As you can see, it comes in red, black, and yellow. Up close, we can see its face with its jaw closed. Another one over here, and now let's go with the last animal in the box, which is the one that appeared in the photograph. It's a type of monkey. It's a baboon. As you can see, it has a very distinctive head shape and its jaw is open, exposing, above all, these 4 fangs. On these pages, we have information about the wildebeest and the baboon, and take a look at this image. It has fairly long hair, and it says that it usually lives in a hierarchical way, in groups of between 30 and 100 individuals. It is a very intelligent animal, with a great capacity for learning. It can weigh up to about 40 kilos and measure more than a meter in length. And now, if we're done with today's video, here are all the animals we've learned about. If you liked it, you can help me by giving me a super like, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And now, as I say goodbye to you, I'll see you in the next video with more amazing animals. Goodbye. Subscribe. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video where we are going to meet a lot of different dinosaurs. We will learn their names and their characteristics. They are all hiding inside this mysterious box, where we can already see a big stegosaurus looking for food in the middle of the forest. Let's see all the ones we find inside. Look, there are a lot of different dinosaurs. The best part is that the figures are different sizes and textures, and some, like this one, have lights in their eyes and special sounds. So we're going to learn a lot of things, and let's see which one comes out first. It looks like we have a giant among giants, a very well-known super predator. Because of the large crest of spines it had all along the top of its body, it's called Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus could reach about 17 meters in length as an adult. As you can see here, we can notice that it walked on all fours, although in reality its front legs were smaller than its hind legs. Therefore, it could also walk bipedally, using only its 2 hind legs and putting all its weight on the back. Also, its jaw was impressive. As you can see, it was quite elongated and full of sharp teeth. It closely resembles the jaw of modern crocodiles, but on a gigantic scale. In addition, Spinosaurus loved to eat fish and marine animals, so it always submerged itself in the water in search of food.
We've already met the first one. Let's see. Here's the next one.
We have another carnivorous dinosaur. Do you know what it means to be a carnivore? It means it ate meat, right? In this case, we have the great Giganotosaurus. I really like this figure because it's not only very large. Look, it can move its back legs and its front legs, which had 3 fingers with 3 strong claws, so it could eat all the meat it found. The jaw can be opened, revealing all its sharp teeth and also the detail of its tongue. As you know, the Giganotosaurus was very large, its hind legs were very big and sturdy. And if you notice, we can see that the entire upper dorsal part was covered with small spikes, forming a large row or line. Also, the sides of its head were flattened to lighten the weight of its skull. Impressive! I really like it. Another one over here. Let's continue with a different one. Oh, over here I see a much smaller figure. And also, it's not a dinosaur, it's a reptile. It's a marine reptile, swimming out of the box towards us. This time, it's called Mosasaurus. I'm sure many of you had already recognized it. Also, I love the figure, because if we press on the back, it's a finger biter. Ah, I need help, it's biting my finger. If we open it, we can see the detail of its tongue and its teeth. As you can see, it had 4 large fins. The front fins were slightly wider than the back ones, and this allowed them to swim at great speed. It also had a tail, although it wasn't very long. Here in the figure, we can also move it from right to left. Ah, Mosasaurus fed on large prey that it found in the great ocean. We'll leave it here so we can continue learning about new species. Here we have the first herbivorous dinosaur that appears, and along with Parasaurolophus, this is one of my favorites. Let's see the name of this monosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus. It was characterized by having a super hard skull, as if it had a helmet or armor on its head. As you can see, its skull was as hard as a rock, and it was also covered with large spikes on the back. This way, it could defend itself by charging hard, like a rock against a rock. To find out more about Pachycephalosaurus, let's take a look at the Amazing Dinosaurs book, specifically on pages 116 and 117. We have a lot of information about it. In the Dino fact sheet, it specifies that it could reach about 8 meters in length and weigh around 2 tons, or in other words, about 2,000 kilos. It was omnivorous. It ate plants, fruits, but also some insects. In addition, we have a real-life photograph showing the complete fossilized skull remains of the Pachycephalosaurus. We can see what the top part of its head looked like. And we can also see how its teeth were tiny, since it didn't need large teeth like carnivores do. It also tells us that it had very good eyesight, and that it lived approximately 66 million years ago, exactly in the Cretaceous period. And now, if we continue with another different specimen, let's see which one we have. And look at this curious dinosaur. It's a dinosaur that, as you can see, had a long neck. It was one of the long-necked ones. It was quadrupedal. It walked on its 4 legs. And the best part is that at the bottom it specifies the scientific name. Its name is Amargasaurus. It also had a long tail, just like the Diplodocus. I think it would also use it to defend itself, using it like a whip to hit its opponents. However, what stands out the most is the large crest of spikes or spines it had. It went from its head all the way down to about the middle of its tail. And if you look at the top, it seems like the crest was divided into 2 parts. Very interesting. This figure is not articulated. It's made of rigid plastic. However, I really like it because of the details. We can even see its jaw with some details of the teeth. You know it didn't need a very big jaw since it only ate plants. It was herbivorous. Another one over here, and we'll continue with a different one. Another herbivorous dinosaur comes out of our box. Also, this one is very famous and well known, since throughout history, many fossil remains of the great Stegosaurus have been found. As you can see, what stands out the most is the large crest it had, full of bony plates. It used them to defend itself from predators, because if a carnivore came along, it was hard for it to bite, since it had these bony plates for protection. As you can see, they were bigger and taller in the central part. but they started from its head and went almost to the end of its tail. It ended in 4 large spikes that it used for defense, as you know, swinging them from side to side to protect itself. Its head was very small compared to the rest of its body, and we get the articulated figure. We can move the head and the legs. I like that, since we can put it in different positions. For example, when it needed to eat leaves from the branches of trees, it would put all its weight on the back and climb up the trunk of the tree so it could eat. Very interesting, right? Friends, the Stegosaurus lived on planet Earth during the Jurassic period, more than 155 million years ago. Also, I really like the figure, especially because of its colors. Another one over here. And now, we only have one figure left to see, but it's an impressive figure with a super predator. As you can see, this dinosaur is characterized by its large jaw full of teeth and the small horn it had on top. No! Also, we can make special movements, and it lets out a big roar. Its front legs are also articulated, and we can rotate them 360 degrees. I really like that. Carnivores use these small legs to immobilize their prey, or even to help themselves while eating. This large carnivorous dinosaur is called Brachiosaurus. We'll leave it here for now, and that's it for today's video. As you can see, we've created a true Jurassic World. What I like most about having these figures is that we can create thousands of different stories. We just have to let our imagination run wild. Also, if you like this video, you can help me out by giving me a super like, a thumbs up, and I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And now, I'll say goodbye to you all. See you in the next video with more amazing dinosaurs. Goodbye.